Hello and welcome to the Stro Show. It's a new show hosted by me, Alex Tronic. The name of it comes from, back in high school, they used to call me Stro because of my last name, starting with Stro. I thought it would be fitting. And here it's we're pretty much going to talk about whatever. I have a couple topics set up for today. First thing I want to talk about is the Steam Summer Sale, which has come out, or started, I should say, this past week. It's actually pretty cool. A lot of cool games out with that. And it's kind of getting me excited to try to get some more PC gaming in. So anyone out there who loves the PC game, if you don't have Steam, it's a free download, free to get an account. It's pretty cool, and I'm hoping to try to get more of this kind of stuff going. Right now, I'm looking at the sale, and I'm there are a few games I'm thinking about getting some other games that aren't even on here. But right now, I'm looking at like Tomb Raider. It's only like $5, 75% off from its normal price on there, but that's a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. I'm really thinking about getting it. I know Payday 2 is on it, and I believe that's on sale. Yeah, it is on sale. That's like $10. It's actually another game I'm really considering getting. A lot of my coworkers play it, and it's pretty. Looks like it's pretty cool. It's I start off gaming with first-person shooters. I think that's really what Well, all right. If I really want to go back, it's more original Nintendo stuff. Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, stuff like that. So at the time, there wasn't really any, first-person shooters. But when I guess I got into PC gaming, that's when I was introduced to it by my grandfather, of all people. He had gotten Doom, put it on his computer, and my dad brought me to visit him. He lives used to when he was alive. He lived like an hour away, and we got there, and he goes, "Hey, check out this cool game I got. It's kind of freaky. Sometimes it's awesome." He had like back in the day. When with computer gaming and everything, my grandfather, he was one of those old guys that always liked to get the cool new technology. So, his PC for the time was kind of decked out, and so he had like cool speakers up, like good speakers up, stuff that like you don't see many people have on an average basis back then. And mind you, and this is when Doom first came out. So, he sat me down, he turned up the volume, and I remember playing the game being freaked out by all the sounds. Like, I've never played a game like that before. But it was so cool, going around, shooting these monster zombie things, and they're growing at you, and it's creepy. I remember it being as creepy as all hell. And, it was really cool, and it kind of takes me back to those days. That's why I like games like that. I really... That's what really got me into the first-person shooter games, and I will always have a special place in my heart because of them. Having to do going back to my grandfather, and it's to me first-person shooters are a big deal, and that's one of the reasons why I've been thinking about getting Payday 2. It's one of those, I enjoy games like that. Recently, if anyone has been paying attention to my Twitter and all that stuff, and if you don't have my Twitter account, go ahead and follow it. Tweet at me, whatever. The whole point of the show here, I don't even know what the kind of format I'm going to go with this. And, it is what it is. But, it's really... if you want to tweet at me, I'm just at Alex Tronic, STRON as in Nancy, A C as in cat, H as in Hector. Tweet at me. I love interacting with people, especially new people who everyone, not just new people, but everyone whoever's on Twitter. Follow the YouTube page. If you're listening to this, chances are you are on the YouTube page, and you happen to be listening to this. I'm considering starting. Depending on how this thing goes, I might end up getting an actual podcast feed going on for this show also. As you know, it's audio only, at least at the moment. But, it's a show where I'm going to kind of figure out what kind of format I'm going to talk, do things and how I'm going to talk about things. I'm seeing it as I am it's a reason for me to get on the mic and just talk about stuff every week. As you guys know, we try to do the podcast every week, but we don't always get a chance to do it. And so this is my other way to express certain things in other media other than just writing some and editing videos I shot, way back. This might eventually turn into more of a video thing. I don't know yet. If you guys have any suggestions for something for me to talk about or try, tweet at me. Email me. It's just theretroavenue@gmail.com. Anything along those lines. Right now, it's kind of this show is kind of like an open forum, and I'm really gonna think about getting some guests on here. I'm also thinking about doing some other show stuff on top of this thing, but this is kind of my start with trying to do something more on my own. Just to help me. Just get more stuff done for theretroweb.com. And it's going to be, I think this is going to be fun to do. I'm already like 7 minutes into this thing, and I haven't stopped talking yet, so that's always a good sign. Back to first person shooters and like the Steam sale. I love the Steam summer sale. It's always great whenever it comes around. I always end up spending a little bit of money, sometimes more money than I necessarily have to spend. But, if you're a gamer, I think that happens sometimes, sitting there like, oh man, there's this game that's out, and it's like, it's only $10. It's like, but I need that money for gas to get to work, but it's only $10. I got a credit card though. Let's do it. It happens sometimes. I try to be responsible, and I'm not saying, let's take out a credit card or a loan just to play some video games. But anyone who's a gamer, you get it. You understand that feeling of, man, I want to play this game so bad. At least usually. And if you're not a gamer and you're looking at me or listening to this and you're looking at the feed here or the video, and you're probably thinking, man, this guy is an idiot. Why would you waste money on some sort of video game, whatever? This show, I'm not going to just talk video games. And you're going to know I'm going to be jumping around a lot in this on this first episode here. And it probably will go on with any other ones. I'm going to try keeping this weekly. I'm going to do my very best. As you guys have, anyone who's been paying attention to the website, when we hit the year mark, I was talking about how I was going to try doing a post a week for the year. That was my new goal, because my original goal was doing like a post a month when I first started the website. Because of work and everything, I wasn't sure what I can do. I ended up doing about a post a week on average. And, some of that was with the help of, my fellow podcast host, John Davern. Another great guy. Follow him on Twitter. I believe his Twitter handle is @JohnDavern. Check his stuff out. He's a great guy, really entertaining. I want to try getting more stuff from him up on the site. Everyone seems to love the guy. It's like, I think in the podcast, he plays that guy that throws all the crazy stuff out there, crazy jokes. And I think I play a little bit more of the straight man. And, depending on what you like, it depends on who'd be more entertaining. I'm going to do my best to be entertaining with the show. and hopefully I can keep you guys entertained. That's part of the whole thing is to be entertaining. And I'm just going to keep talking like this, and I apologize for anyone who finds it boring. As time will go on, I promise you I will do my best to be better at just hosting all by myself. And, I'm going to segue over and, away from the Steam Summer Sale. That's, as I said, that is really awesome and cool. And I'll try not to talk too much about FPSs at this point. Actually, you know what? I'm going to kind of go back into it. With 7 Days to Die, that's a game that I think anyone who's been paying attention to, like my Twitter feed, and I guess I haven't talked about it too much recently, but in the past, and I did have a post up about 7 Days to Die. Also, it's a game I really find to be entertaining, and as I have played it, it's really cool seeing. It's out in alpha stages, and seeing it change and grow over time was really cool. Anyone, of course, I've been talking to developers these past couple of years at PAX, and I feel like it's part of that whole world of you're trying to learn more about this industry that you want to be a part of, but like I don't know, I wouldn't know where to start about creating a game. I might have an idea for like a story that might be cool for a game, or figure out stuff like that. But when it comes to actually developing a game, no idea. And my schooling background is more into film. My day job, I do tech support stuff for educational software. For those of you who don't know that, and with this show, you're going to learn more about me in general. Anyone who's listened to the podcast, I think you have a better idea about who I am as a person. All that, if you follow my Twitter feed, I'm typically one of those people that I try my best to be as positive as possible. So even if there's something I'm not too big of a fan of, I still try to look at the positive end of it. It's like, if there's a movie I watch, I'm like, man, I didn't like how they kind of ended it, but honestly, I enjoyed watching it in general. I just sat there and, disappointing parts about it, but in the end, it was still, a pretty good movie. It's hard for me to give some, it'll take a lot for someone for anything to get a truly negative rating, because I try to look at things from multiple angles, and that's part of the something that I do at my job. I do quality checks on other people's work, and so we have to take this unbiased kind of opinion of things. And I think some of that stems into my real world or real life, IRL, in real life, kind of things. Actually, that's a term I learned well at my job. I didn't realize that people used IRL. When it was first used, I was just sitting there like, what the heck's going on? Same kind of thing with terms like YOLO. You only live once. But the first time I heard it, I'm like, what the heck are these people talking about? I'm almost 30. Actually, I turned 29 this year. And it's weird when you get to that age and you realize that you don't know all the internet lingo. I used to know all kinds of different things, when it came to the internet. Like, one of my buddies, he would refer to this world of the internet as, have you been to the internet? There's how would he phrase it? It was, he said he's been to the internet, where some people they visit the internet. There's a difference between those things, and I like to think of myself as someone. In the past, I used to be that guy I've been to the internet. When I use the phrase of "all your base are belong to us," only people who've really been to the internet, at least back in the day when I considered myself one of those people, would understand. you know what I'm talking about. Where today someone might use something that is the equivalent, and I may not know, and so I guess now I dabble in the internet. And some people find that shameful. I'm willing to admit the fact that I'm not 100% in the internet is like I used to be, and I'm okay with that. Considering all the things I try to do, and before the job I have now, I wasn't as internet versed, at least in the modern age of the internet, as I am now. A lot of it has to do with my current day job, but so I'm slowly learning, and I'm sure a lot of people will have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm talking about to the internet and we're just visiting the internet. But those of you who understand that and do, I'm sure right now you're thinking I'm a freaking idiot because, you might still consider me as a internet visitor, and people who don't, they're just saying, well, I have no idea what you're talking about and I could care less. And you may not be listening at this point anymore, but, I digress, and, we shall, move on. So I have, there's this big thing that's been talked about on the internet, where these two girls were they're being put on trial for stabbing a friend, having to do with them finding, or I should say, trying to make the Slender Man happy. They're 12-year-old girls. I was reading some stuff on this, and honestly, that's pretty messed up. I know when I was 12, I still had that thought process of, if I murder someone, I will get in a lot of trouble. Granted, I probably had a pretty sheltered, life. And, my parents are kind of restrictive on the things that we could watch. Like, they wouldn't like if I watched The Simpsons. I would always still sneak and watch it, because kids will be kids. But when you talk about, still two 12-year-old girls who tried to literally stab their friend to death for a fictional character called the Slender Man, there's something wrong there. I know those are 12, and it is a tough call for anyone to say whether if they should be tried as adults or not. But, even if they're not necessarily tried as adults, they should be like a major, mental health thing going on with these two girls. I understand maybe one of them was more of an instigator, trying to push things, getting things going, to sacrifice their friend for the Slender Man, and it's really, I don't know, it's really kind of messed up, and it's kind of scary a little bit too. I know when I was a kid, I love playing video games like Doom. Like, one of my favorite games as a kid was playing Doom, and there's you're going around shooting these different demons and monsters from hell, and I wasn't. Growing around thinking I could, shoot and murder, things everywhere. And that brings me to another topic. This whole thing where people are talking about how they think that video games make people violent. Most of my friends, they know me. Like, I'm a big guy. I'm a hefty guy. And but they know that, like, I'm not the kind of person who would, I don't swing first, ask questions later. It takes a lot for me to get to the point of even wanting to throw a punch at someone. So for the most part, I'm a pretty harmless guy. But I played some of the most violent games that they would talk about. Mortal Kombat. That's a very bloody, gory game. That didn't mess me up. At least that I'm aware of. Granted, this come from the guy who is, talking about himself. Some might say otherwise, but it's I play games like Call of Duty, and I play Doom growing up. A lot of these different games that they say were so violent, and they say it warps these kids' minds. And I'm just, with this whole like Slender Man thing. It's and I know there are a lot of stories behind it and all that, but seriously speaking, like it's not the games that are messing up with these kids. It's seriously speaking, it's how parenting is done. With these two little girls, you shouldn't just be looking at the little girls who tried to stab their friend. Okay, thank God. It sounds like the friend that they tried to kill, she's doing a lot better now, and it looks, she's obviously going to live at this point. I'm sure she's emotionally messed up for the rest of her life, considering two of her, friends from school who invited her over to play some, was it hide and go seek, I believe it was. Really, that's going to mess her up. Like she went over thinking that she's going to play a game. Next thing she knows, her friends are literally stabbing her, trying to kill her. I know that would mess me up. Like I was mugged at gunpoint. And to this day, I know that's messed me up. And they didn't get anything from me. The mugger, or muggers, I should say. They, held a gun at me, and they were trying to get me up to my pockets. They didn't get anything. No money, no nothing. Not my wallet, nothing. I have a friend who kind of went like crazy on him, who was there with me, and that it ended up being maybe it was just a crazy white boy scenario, and they thought that maybe these guys are too messed up to take something from them. They ended up running off, and I know to this day, like even with nothing being taken from me, it still has me a little messed up with certain scenarios. And so that girl must be really messed up. But back onto the other girls who actually tried to stab. It's like you got to look at the parents. I know that there's only so much parents can do to a certain degree, but they are the main source of where children learn things from. The reason why I know I am the person I am today is because of my parents. A lot of parents today, they think that your school is supposed to teach you all kinds of stuff. And schools there help teach kids, how to read and stuff like that. But they need the support in the back of the parents. Parents these days don't seem to necessarily want to do that anymore. They think school's supposed to do that, not realizing, when the kid comes home, helping them read, helping them turn into a good, legitimate person, someone of, use in today's society. And, it's, really messed up. And so I honestly think the courts should be looking at the parents too. How did they, allow this to happen? I know that parents can't always know what their kids are doing all the time. I know that that's not a thing that, is possible to do, especially if you have active kids who like going outside to play, kids who like doing, it's hard to always keep an eye on them. And I know a lot of parents, they do a great job at doing their best, and some kids don't turn out fine, and other ones, some kids aren't, they just don't do well, and other kids, they turn out great. But it does all start with the parenting, and I don't know what kind of parents these kids have, but they should be looked at. There's a deeper thing there, like mentally, with these girls that I believe that that's really caused this whole thing to happen. I was reading an article where I think it was like some sort of psychiatrist was talking about a 12-year-old's brain and how they're thought process on how things I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, but basically the repercussions of things that happen. Their thought process is I believe they said it was no different than it is of an adult, or was it? Or see, now I'm going to have to look this up and and reread it. But it's one of those things where it kind of made me think, yeah, I don't know, but I know I know I'm not these kids, and so it is hard, to put someone like myself who's now almost 30 into the place of how all these kids are thinking today. And I know society is different today than it used to be, but you have to be really messed up, and there has to be some sort of underlying reason why this whole thing happened. And for anyone who doesn't know what the Slender Man is, basically he's like this character that like takes kids while in the woods, or it's something along those lines. It also comes from a game also. I think that's where these kids have heard of it. It had to do with a game, and then they're looking up Slender Man sites. I think he's kidnapped kids. And or something like that. I don't know. It really creeped them. It's kind of creepy because these are kids who want to make this Slender Man happy, and it's like, well, isn't he around to kidnap kids? How would they know that this kid wasn't around to, if the Slender Man existed, wouldn't they think that the Slender Man would want to take them? I know if I were a 12-year-old kid and I thought the Slender Man may have existed, my thought process wouldn't be, oh, let's try to get on his good side by killing one of our friends. I would think, man, even if I were to do that, he might want to take me anyway, in a not good sense, Sorry, I did take a drink of water here. All right. So these kids, they really are, there really is something wrong there. And right now I'm trying to figure out okay, here we go. This is from CNN.com. If you look up Slender Man kid stabbing, I think it's like the first option in the Google search. It's about, when the page first opens up, you have to scroll down just a little bit and you'll find where they talk about, this person from, it's Professor Jacqueline Woolley, I think, of the University of Texas at Austin's Department of Psychology Studies. Children's thinking and their ability to make distinctions between fantasy and reality. And so she found that by the age of 2.5, children understand the categories of what's real and what's not. So basically what it was, it's the understanding of kids being able to tell if something's real or not. And so she goes on to pretty much talk about how these kids that are 12 should understand that the Slender Man's not real. They should have that thought process of, this thing's not real, so, we shouldn't be stabbing our friend. She did say it's purely speculation and all that stuff, but based on how the brain develops, and at this point in their life, they should have that understanding that Slender Man's fake and that they shouldn't be stabbing their friend. Like this is, precognitive stuff too. Like they thought about, like they planned this whole thing out. It wasn't like oh man, we have, our friend Susie from school here. Let's stab her. It was one of those, oh, okay, what we're going to do. All right. We're going to invite, I don't remember what the girl's name, so I'm just using a random name now. We're going to kill one of our friends. Okay. So So what's the plan? All right, well, we're gonna invite her over, and we're gonna play hide and seek. All right, and we're gonna have knives with us, and so we're gonna tell her to go and hide, but we're gonna keep it, we're gonna pay attention as to where she is, and sneak up and stab her and sacrifice her for the Slender Man. That was like their thought process with this, and that's really kind of messed up. That's intent. They really meant to try to kill their friend. And this girl wasn't just stabbed once; she was stabbed multiple times. You thank God that she's still alive and everything. So the professor here also talked about how the brain doesn't truly fully develop until the age of 25, which explains some of my screw ups while growing up, and how there are things I regret in the past, but I've never regretted stabbing someone because I haven't done it. That's not a thing that I would do unless my life or my life or someone that I cared about was in trouble, with through threat of death. Then that might be a situation where I might, have to do something, but that's more out of self-defense and protecting the people I love, not because I feel like someone needs to be sacrificed to a fictional character, fictional. Sorry if I got a little loud there. I feel kind of passionately about the fact that, especially for this, their friend that was like innocently there to play a game, and she was betrayed by her friends. Like she's going to have issues, not just the fact that she was stabbed, but like she's going to have trust issues with anyone around her, and from it sounds like a lot of people are sending her, I think it was purple hearts, because purple's her favorite color, in the hospital and everything, which apparently has helped out according to what her parents are saying, which is really, it's good. That's one thing that does make, that makes you feel good that other people out there care enough to try to help, perfect strangers, I guess it's kind of like a pay it forward kind of thing. So it's crazy stuff. If you want to know more about like Slender Man, he is, let's see. He's like this faceless guy out in the woods, and he kidnaps kids. Literally has no face. Actually, this is a topic I plan on talking about in another show I plan on doing, to get the reaction of another host I'm going to do with another show, who is kind of freaked out by faceless people and things. So it's going to be kind of entertaining. So keep an eye out for that show. It's going. I'm not sure what we're going to call it yet. Just kind of like with the show. Right now, I'm calling it the Weekly Drive. This one that you're listening to right now. But if you have a better name out there, give me suggestions. Send me an email, as I said. At me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube page too. It's just youtube.com/theretroav. Really simple. I have. I think you've already heard this on the podcast. If you've listened to the podcast, but I have interviews up there with different indie game developers. All these indie game developers, they're really cool. They're great to talk to. And they're willing just to talk about this stuff. They're passionate about their games that they're creating. So support them too. But I think that's pretty much all we're going to talk about for right now. Tell me what you think of like this whole Slender Man thing and the Steam sale and, whatever else. If you have topics of your own that you want to, that you think I should talk about, let me know. and I'll talk about it. If you're developing a game out there and you kind of want to get in on this show or whatever, let me know. Or if you want to get in on the podcast too, the official RetroWeb podcast, contact me, let me know, and we'll try to get you in. Maybe we'll do like a little interview on there. This is great. I actually had a lot of fun for these like 35 something minutes here. Thank you for listening. And this is the Stro Show. See you guys next time.